everybody, welcome back to my channel, unless of course you're new here, in which case, hi, hello, my name is Ashley, and welcome to my random little corner of the internet. As you can know from this title, we are going to be doing my top 10 of 2025. These are my favorite books. I tried really hard in my reading journal to keep it updated. I had these cute little photo corners and I moved the covers around. I lost track of it, but I think this is close. What is my hair doing? I have no idea. I never know. Anyways, so we're going to start from 10 and go to 1. I think this is a close, it might not be exact on the order, but I think I got it close, except for the top 3 are phenomenal and they're staying like the top 3 are the top 3. The other ones they're mixed in there on the top 10. So anyways, so we are going to start with number 10, and that is going to be The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This was so cozy. It was so cute. I loved every second of it. Okay, let me start you right here. I'm not going to remember all the details. Yesterday, Natalie asked me about a book that I read 2 years ago, and somehow I remembered things and even remembered names. That's not a thing that normally happens. I can almost guarantee that anybody watching this can't remember the specific details of even the last book they read, much less most of these I read toward the beginning of the year. But I will do my best. We follow Mika, and she goes to this house because she's supposed to be a governess for these girls who have magical abilities, but they're not they're in hiding kind of situation, because 3 witches in one single area is a bad thing. You're not supposed to congregate because bad things will happen. But it's cozy and found family, and the little romance that's in it is very cute. But yeah, most people who read this think it's adorable. If you go in knowing it's mainly just cozy vibes, nothing crazy happens. There is a little bit of a conflict at the end, obviously, but nothing crazy happens, and it is a super cute, cozy read. So yes, number 10, Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Number 9, I swapped this out. Same author. I had another one of her books here, but I swapped it out because I think I did enjoy this one more, and that is Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I am not a huge romance person. I'm not a huge spicy person, but Ali, I don't know, the way that she writes, it just tickles all the things in my brain, and I love it so much. I had Deep End here, but I think I really like this one more. When I finished this, I was 5 out of 5 stars, no notes. I loved it so much. We follow Maya and Connor, and if you have read Ali Hazelwood books, you know that they're kind of connected, in which characters from her other books will show up in the other, in this one, I think the 2 from, which one was it? This one. Pop up, but as side back characters, and if you haven't read that one, it's not something that messes with the plot. If you have read it, you're oh yeah, I recommend it. Actually, I think it is Deep End. I think it is. The side characters that show up. So I'm not going to put anything here. I'm going to keep pointing, but there's nothing here. It's Deep End. 2 of the characters, 2 main characters from that, make a little cameo in this one. But if you haven't read Deep End, they're just 2 cute little side characters that she runs into while they're on vacation. So, it's not something that messes with that. However, it is listed as a sequel to Not in Love, because the characters in this are in that one, and it's one of those situations of they're side characters in that one, but this is their story, so that it's still a standalone, but you get more of their backstory. And they're at a wedding for characters that are in that first one. It can be read, I read this one before I read Not in Love, and I was fine. There was no problems. Except for the fact that, obviously, I knew that we would be getting a happy ending for Not in Love. But, we always get happy endings. We like happy endings, right? Okay, so, yes, loved it. My only issue was there is a slight age gap. It's a pretty decent age gap, but that's not actually an issue. It's fine. She's a legal adult. Some people will be like, oh, well, he knew her since she was little, but he really didn't. Like, he knew of her, he knew her existence, but he didn't know her. And then didn't really meet her until she was in college. So, we're good. Loved it. All right. I'm going to ramble on some of these. For number 8. This, I think, is the only one that was read in the second half of the year. And I read it almost at the, I think it was in November. Might have been December even. But that was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. For like the past 3 years, people have been telling me to read this. Every time I did like a 12 by 12, people were like, hey, read this book. And I bought it when I went to Barnes & Noble in October for my birthday. Like, my husband takes me to Barnes & Noble for my birthday and then just like gives me a budget and says, hey, buy some books, because he knows that I want books, but he doesn't want to buy me what I already have or something I may not like. And so he's like, I will pay for it. You go buy. And this is one of the ones I picked out, especially after, I'd already bought it because I'd heard good things and I really wanted to read it, especially because I knew the movie was coming out. And then we went to go see Wicked. They had the trailer for it and it looked so good. So yes, I read it and it's great. It's fantastic. Everybody kept telling me to read do the audio, because like the sound effects and the music mixing, and that's great, and I'm sure it is fantastic. However, I could not get past the narrator's voice. There's something about it that just wasn't clicking. So I physically read it and absolutely loved it. And who doesn't love Rocky? And I think that, honestly, like looking at it, like I rewatched the trailer after I read it, Ryan Gosling is actually a great pick. I think it's going to be fantastic. Like, I think he was a great pick for Ryland. I was close. He was a great pick for Ryland. The woman that they have playing the scientist that comes and picks him up looks a little tame compared to, but honestly, it works too. I think it's going to be fantastic, but this was so good. I cried at the end. I was so worried for both of Ryland and Rocky, and Ryland and Rocky are going to go save the stars. And I'm so excited. It was really good. Read this book. If people tell you to read this book, it's because it's good and it's worth the read. So read this book. I'm really bad at synopsises, guys. I'm really sorry. So, that's 10, 9, 8. So, number 7. This one was so much higher. When I looked at my list, I had this at 4. And then I rearranged because I started thinking about the other books on my list. Again, I think depending on the mood of my day, they all can kind of move around. But right now, for the sake of this list, this is number 7, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7. And that is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. I adored the first book. The What the River Knows. What the River Knows is the first book. Where the Library Hides is the second book. It is a duology. It takes place in Egypt. And it is very reminiscent of The Mummy. We get, they're finding this tomb and they're setting up these curses. Like, not setting up, but enacting these curses. That might be the word. I don't know what word I'm trying to think of, but setting off these curses. And there's treasure hunting, and then there's people that, especially in this one, there's people coming after them, and then people do die, and that is sad. And then our main character, we've got Whitford. That's a guy. That's the male main character. What is the female main character's name? Inez. Yes? Inez. She's just, obviously she's a woman in this time period. It is the late 1800s. And so obviously she can't go anywhere without being chaperoned, and nobody thinks a woman can do these things, and everything. People are dying, and parents are coming back from the dead, even though they weren't actually really dead. And she's got this whole mystery going on, and it was really, really good. And I couldn't put it down. It was phenomenal. And see, even as I'm talking about it, I'm like, should it be higher? But then I'm looking at my stack, and I'm like, no. This is, because I think I like the other ones more, but it was so good. I highly recommend this duology, especially if you like The Mummy and Egyptology in general, and that whole vibe. You're going to love this. For number 6, we are going to go with, hopefully my sister doesn't watch this, because I'm getting her this book. My sister doesn't typically watch my YouTube videos. She does watch my TikTok, so I might not be able to clip this. We'll see what happens. For number 6, we are going to go with A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. It was so good. I thought this was going to be cheesy and it's meh. But we're set in London in 1923 and dragons exist. Like, they're just chilling in London, and we have this caste system where, like, the super wealthy are good, and they, I mean, like life. But if you're in class C, you literally get the droppings everywhere else. If you go to your grocery store, there might be some potatoes. You might get some, like, grains. But you're not doing well. And then, like, our main character speaks to dragons, or she wants to speak. She wants to go to this. What is all over my book? Children. She wants to go to the school so she can learn more about dragonology and dragon, like, linguistics and stuff like that. But then her parents end up, like, being arrested for being rebels of some kind, but in all actuality it was a government ploy just to get our main character, whose name is Vivian, to where they needed her to be so that they could help her fight against the dragons, because then she enacted a war by letting the dragon in the library free so they could go get her parents out of prison, and by doing so enacted a whole war. And so now they're fighting against dragons, and so the government basically kidnapped her, but in a way that, like, seems somewhat legal. It's very topical, honestly, because they're gonna put criminals on islands so that the dragons have something to eat. Okay, sure. But I literally can't wait. I think the second one is called the Way of the Wyverns or something like that. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait for it to come out. It is one of my most anticipated next year because I loved this one so much. It's so good. This is my Fairy Loot edition. It's, like, really pretty. But yes, absolutely adored that one. Alrighty, number. That was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5? I'm so confused. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, that was number 6. Whew. For number 6, we have another good cozy. We have The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. It's like Narnia for grown-ups. I think that's what it's even marketed as. We meet these two characters kind of where they've been missing for many, many years, and one decided that he was going to make himself famous because of it, because now he can find other missing people, and the other one kind of became a recluse. And then we meet a third person, who is our female main character, who her sister is missing, and so she goes to the one guy who's really good at finding missing people, and it turns out that her sister's in the same place that those boys went missing originally, and it turns into this whole magical adventure. And it's very, very Narnia coded. That's all I can say about this one. It was great, it was sweet, it was cozy, it was fun. There wasn't, like, a whole lot of tension. There was a little bit of tension, because even in Narnia you get the White Witch and everything. But, like, it was very cozy and very sweet, and I loved it so much. I love Meg Schaefer's writing. I am currently reading an arc of her next book called The Book Witch, and I literally started it last night, and I am already over halfway done with it. I probably could have finished it last night, but my eyes got tired, and I fell asleep. But I will probably finish it tonight. It is so good. I love her writing style. So if you like cozy, which is just a little bit teachy, I highly recommend anything by Meg Schaefer. They're fantastic. The other book, The Wishing Game. She wrote The Wishing Game as well, and I loved that one. I'm pretty certain it was on my top 10 last year. Can't remember exactly. But yes, absolutely phenomenal. Yes, read Meg Schaefer books. They're great. Alrighty, for number 4, this is going to be great. For number 4, we have another sequel in a duology, and that is Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. The first book was either The Crimson Moth or my camera decided to tell me it was full, so yay. Anyways, we're getting back to Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. Like I said, it's a sequel to, depending on if you're in the UK or the US, if you got the Fairy Loot edition, whatever, it's either called The Crimson Moth or it's called Heartless Hunter. I think it's Heartless Hunter in the US, and it was Crimson Moth in the UK, and then the sequel was Rebel Witch. That's what it is. So we follow Rune and Gideon, and it's a very witch hunter witch scenario. Rune is finding out that she might have picked the wrong side, and that maybe the witches aren't actually good, which that was kind of a given, right? Like we knew that was going to happen, and it's okay. And she's very scared about Gideon dying, but like she doesn't want to like people to know that because he's a witch hunter and obviously is trying to kill her, and happily ever after, kind of. I don't want to give away too much spoilers because it is a sequel. Read the first one. They are a great duology though. I loved them. They need a bit of space in the first one, but not really. It's very kind of fade to black, a little like they left the door open a crack. That was about it. But the second one, if I'm remembering correctly, is pretty clean. But it is great. They are fantastic. I'm doing such a bad job at these. Do not take this as like a detailed recommendation because it's not what you're going to get here. But I am still telling you that I love these. For number 3, this one was a find. I saw it sitting on an end cap at Half Price Books, and then I did Prideopoly in June, and someone recommended it for asexual representation with like the asexual flag colors on the cover because we got extra points if the colors on the cover matched. And that is Circus... Oh, here we go. Color... There we go. The Circus Infinite by Kan Wong. This book stuck with me for so long. It is so good. It is so beautifully written. We have our main character whose name is Jess. They are a mixed race asexual empath with gravity manipulation abilities. However, they don't want people to know that. They kind of play it off as some sort of like mechanical contraption thing, but they join the circus and they use their powers to do that. They like the powers thing, like the gravity manipulation thing is one thing. It's the empath abilities. They don't want people knowing that because of the race that they are could get them in trouble or something along those lines. But they do spend most of the book trying to come to terms with their sexuality and just meeting everybody at this circus. It's circus. So you have just a whole range of people. And it's set in space, obviously. It is set on Persephone 9, which is the galaxy's most infamous pleasure moon. And they meet all kinds of people, and there's espionage, and there's torture, and there's just dark, seedy underbellies, and then there's fun, happy love time, and it's so good. It's so good. I could not recommend this book more. It is something I've never heard of people talking about this one. I am so glad I randomly saw it on the shelf. I am so glad I participated in Prideopoly so that I had a reason to actually pick it up and read it. And it is so good. Like, it stuck with me for months. Read this book. Please. That's like I said. Okay. For book number 2, we've all seen it. I didn't ever think that I would pick up this book and love it as much as I did. I do not physically own it. I don't even remember why I picked it up. Like, I don't own it, so it was definitely something, like, I got it on Kindle Unlimited because it fit a prompt for something, or I don't remember. But we all love it, hopefully. I don't know, if you haven't read it, maybe you should, because, yeah. But that is Dungeon Crawler Carol by Matt Denneman. Like, it's everywhere. It's all over Book Talk. It's all over BookTube. It's all over Bookstagram. It's highly recommended. It's super cool that they were published back in like 2020. Most of them. It's still going. I think there's like 9 of them now, and they just progressively get bigger. I may or may not have a video. When I went to Barnes & Noble, I almost grabbed them, but I don't like. I mean, I like the new covers, but I kind of like the old covers better. So this is the cover. When I downloaded it on my Kindle, this was like the original, because he originally was indie published, I believe, or self-published. And these are the covers he had. But now they're being picked up to be traditionally published, and these are the covers they had. They're really cool, they're really fun, they're vibrant, but they're kind of minimalistic, and I really like the old ones better. But it is what I think the genre is lit RPG, so it's like a literary RPG, because we have Carl, who is just living his life up on top of on the Earth's surface. That is important. He's on the Earth's surface and he's just chilling. He just went through a breakup with his girlfriend, but she left her cat at his house, Princess Donut. She's adorable. And that cat kind of saves his life in a sense, because she runs out the door. He goes out to chase her, and all of a sudden, all of the buildings in the planet just go. Pfft. Everything's underground. And then levers lift up, or doors lift up, and they have stairs, and they say, "Hey, everybody, if you're still alive, get underground." They're like, "Okay, cool. This is how we get saved and everything." And then they're like, "Haha, just kidding. You're gonna play a game to the death kind of situation." Very Hunger Games-y kind of situation where everything is televised, but it is also giving video game where there's power-ups and there's random. It's an RPG game in these tunnels. And listen, I know that it is underground. I know that they are rocky tunnel caves, yada yada yadas. But every time I read it, the whole time I was reading it, like, this is what I was thinking. Fluorescent lights, white walls. I don't know why, but this is what I kept saying. And I don't know, that's what it is. But this book is so much fun. And I really think, like, across all the people, it transcends genres for a lot of people. Like, oh, I'm usually read this. Well, I still love this. Or I usually read this and I still loved it. It is such a good book. I've only read the first one, but I've heard that it only gets better. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. That is one of my goals this year, is to read the rest of it, or at least a few more of them. I don't own them, so technically that goes against that rule, but it's okay. We're going to do it. And that leads us to book number 1. It's another sequel. But that's only because I liked this, okay. It's from a trilogy. I loved all 3 books, do not get me wrong. And originally when I did this, the first book was just further down the list, and I was like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to split them up. So really, it's the whole series is in number 1, because I did read all 3 of them last year, or in 2025. But this one stood out above the other 2, and that is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. Have you read this book? It is... It honestly put me in a slump for a little bit. I was like, nothing's going to compare to this. I know that I said that Circus Infinite, stuck with me for months. But oh my god. When I finished this series, I was just taken aback. It's in a post-apocalyptic world. In a post-apocalyptic world where, people don't die anymore. And because people don't die anymore, I don't even say it's post-apocalyptic. I think it's just we're so far in the future that people don't die anymore. So we have Sais who have to go around and kill people. And for the most part, not maliciously. It's a plan. Be like, hey, your name came up. You're going to die. And people, for the most part, are like, okay, it's fine. It's my time. I understand. But, then you don't even have to die of old age. You can turn a corner and just kind of start over, or go back to whatever age I don't know. It's... But this one. The male main character. Because we have Citra and we have Rowan. And they're both trying to become, official Sais. In the first book, they are apprentices, and all kinds of shit goes wrong. And then they start off with one guy, one site that they're being an apprentice under, but then he dies, and they're framed for it. So then they get separated, and they have different people. And the person that Citra's with is fine, but the person that Rowan's with is a little crazy. He gets kill happy. And he's absolutely insane. And so then Rowan goes a little rogue And so in this book, it is a lot of Rowan is off the grid. Rowan is trying to fuck some shit up. And Citra's trying to bring order to everything because... Oh, okay. Spoiler alert, she does become a scythe. She becomes a scythe. She's trying to bring order through being on the inside. Rowan is trying to fuck shit up from the outside. It's just all so much. And then the third one just brings it all together. We bring in new people. We find out what happened. Like, the people who created the size. And just... It was so good. It was so... I hate that I waited so long to read these. Because it came... Like, this book came out in... 2018, so the first one, what, 2017, 2016? Read these books. Read them. They're dystopian, kind of sci-fi-y. I really wouldn't say fantasy. I would say sci-fi. Dystopian. But it's really, really good. And you should read it. But yeah, that's going to be it. That is going to wrap up my top 10 for 2025. It's a bit of a ramble. All I can say is that I highly recommend all of these. I could maybe give you genres, and spice levels. That's all I could really tell you. Other than that, we're going off vibes for the most part. But yes, what was your favorite book of 2025? Or your top 10? Did you make a video? If you made a video, like, let me know in the comments because I want to go watch it. Like, I want to interact with everybody else's channels too. So if you have a YouTube and you made a video, or if you made a TikTok about it, or post it on Instagram or wherever, let me know, and I will go check it out. I am talking so much with my hands today. I don't know what's happening. But yes. But I want to know what your favorite book is, even if you don't have a channel, or don't post it somewhere. Like, let me know in the comments, because if I haven't read it, but it's important to you, maybe I want to read it, because, like, I want to know what you guys are reading too. But yes, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, as well as the big red subscribe button and the notification bell so you are always notified every time that I upload. And until next time, bye!